Hello and welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to apologize very quickly. This episode and last week's episode, they came up a little late. The main reason for that was, well, the first episode, for some reason, it was just like, oh, YouTube is processing your thing. It will take 5 minutes. 5 hours later, nothing happened. And then it uploaded overnight, which I didn't understand. Yeah, so that was weird, and this episode, I was currently playing Pokemon X and Y, and I got very preoccupied in that great game. So, yeah, I was a little lazy. However, I'm pre-recording this episode and the next episode, so you get the next episode hopefully on time, if not earlier. So yeah, so I'm gonna get off my fat and lazy bum, and yeah, pre-record some episodes so that I will not keep delaying them and getting them at the wrong time, because I know you guys like this and I don't want to let you down. Okay, so let's begin. Today, by the way, we're doing upper arm designs. So let us begin with Unnamed Mock, which pretty much looks like a corrupt hero, but Dorjordi, the owner of this mock, whose name I cannot pronounce, he did not give this mock a name. At least it wasn't on his Flickr. You can have a look at the link to this mock on Flickr in the description, by the way. Please check it out. This guy has some amazing stuff. I would definitely be reviewing his stuff more than once. Anyway, it doesn't have a name, so I figured I might give it one. He shall be known as Humphrey Bogart. So, let's review Humphrey, shall we? So Humphrey's kind of got this little, like, half and half, kind of like split face, but a lot better. Yeah, like something's corrupting him, kind of, sort of. And that's definitely shown through, like, the, I'm pointing at the screen with my finger, and obviously you can't see that. Gah. Anyway, he's kind of got the, like, he's got all those claws stretching over his body. Kind of looks like veins, like, popping out and taking over the older half of his body. It looks awesome. That kind of relates to the upper arm, though, but we should probably talk a bit more about the upper arm, because that's what we're here to talk about. He used a brain slug. Now that, in my opinion, correct me if you're wrong, please show me a mock that uses it well, but I think I've seen 2 mocks, this included in those 2, that use a brain slug well, other than a, head design, like the sets kind of thing. And I think this just, it's great. It's great, because either you could view it as 2 things. One, it blends in with everything, and it's just sort of got that kind of like veiny, corrupting thing, or it's actually a parasite, and that's what's taking over his body, which that is awesome. I love it. This is a great mock. Something else I love, it's asymmetrical. And a lot of times you see asymmetrical mocks, and it's kind of like, yeah, I was just running out of pieces, I couldn't really finish it off. That's not the case here. It looks awesome. Because half and half, just like Split Face. You know what, guys, why don't you revamp Split Face? Why don't you think, he wasn't very good at set. Why not do something like this? It would look great. Another thing, this mock uses Hero Factory so well. I mean, if you look down at the nitty-gritty bits of this mock, it's really fairly simple. So, really, guys, you can get as good a mock as this with pretty much using, like, 3 Bionicle pieces and all of its Hero Factory. So, yeah, do that, guys. This is great, and you can do something like that, too. Ha! Alright, so next, by Gringat's grey beard, I am reviewing a Gringat mock. Hik the Wizard by Gringat the Repugnant, my good friend. Also in Team Broken Axles, I will give you a link to the... I just hit the mic, I'm an idiot. I will give you a link to the Broken Axles YouTube page, as well as the Broken Axles most recent stream on Cal Notifier's channel. Hopefully you guys watch that, because it's very funny, very enjoyable, and it's basically mock advice, which was my old show on this channel. Anyway, let's begin with Hik the Wizard. Now, the last mock really didn't have very many... the last mock was extremely, like, awesome, had a lot of cool-looking, complex designs, lots of custom... But you really don't need that. Like, look at this. The upper arm is simply 1 Hero Factory bone. And the lower arm, it's a really simple, nice technique. But does that make it look bad in any way? Hells nah! It looks awesome! And, like, here. The whole aesthetic of this mock is kind of like a almost steampunky, but like clockwork gears, kind of like a really cool... I really don't know how to describe the aesthetic, but I'm sure you guys can understand. And just the simple looking limb here works really well. So guys, when you're building, don't think, oh, I just used a non-custom design. This is terrible. Oh, why am I doing this? I can't post. This is bad. Oh, I suck at mocking. Don't think that. This mock is by Gringat, one of the greatest mockers I know. And it's really not that custom. And how good does it look? It looks amazing. So yeah, don't feel bad if you use a non-custom design. It will look good. And now, this is one very cool mock. Probably one of my favorites that I've reviewed. I just love it. And it's one of my favorite sets as well. It is by Fenrek Fluffy. Mutran and Vican. Obviously based off the set, Mutran and Vican. It was a great set. If you haven't bought it, I recommend getting it and revamping it. Because, well, actually, don't even revamp it. Great set. But I recommend buying this if you somehow manage to find one. Because it's an old set. Anyway, he did obviously revamp Vican, and it looks brilliant. He used tires. Tires are great. Use tires in your mocks, guys. It gets some great looking things, just like this. But I'm not going to be talking about Vican because I want to talk about this guy. Look at that. Damn, it's good. Anyway, look. I pressed the button to go to the next slide. Do you want to go? There we go. Look at that upper arm design, guys. Look at it. Look at it. It's great. Here's a better shot. Dude, what up with the lag? Come on, go to the next slide. There we go. Anyway, there's a really nice flow going on here. Like, the Nuva shoulder flows with that bottom piece. I think belongs to Motoro. I think that's where that initially came from. But there's a nice flow with the textures of these pieces. They're all smooth, and it works so well. And something I just noticed now. Look at the bottom of the arm where it connects to the lower arm. He's used some of those tread pieces from various other system sets. That really fills in that gap that would have simply just been an axle hole. Not an axle hole, you fool, just an axle. But that's a really nice way to fill that in. Guys, pick up some of those pieces and do that, because that looks mighty fine. Anyway, something else I want to talk about. Here, on his back, he's got a little bit of a hunch, and that uses a Nuva shoulder. And also, the Nuva shoulders were used on his arms. Flowing, guys. Use pieces that you've used in other parts of the mock. So say you used, I don't know, a scroll armor piece on the leg. Put that on the upper arm. That way, you got a nice sense of flow, because the textures are the same, and the same pieces, so it just looks more whole, and it doesn't look like everything's all over the place. So if you feel your mock's looking a little weird, I recommend doing that, because it's what he's done here, and it looks mighty fine. Anyway, that is all three of the mocks. There's a lot I haven't covered on these mocks, guys. It was probably not the greatest idea to pick upper arm designs for these mocks, because they've got a lot of other things going for them. And that's something I've kind of deliberately done. I want you guys to look in the description, check out these mocks and these mockists, look at other mocks that they've done, and try and get some inspiration from them so that you can hopefully get out of your mocking block and better your mocks. Because I know a lot of people want to do that, and I just want you to have fun. So, yeah, look at these great mocks. Check the links in the description. And I will see you next episode for what will be, because I got a few requests for this, weapons. Whether they be guns, staves, swords, butter knives, whatever. I will be reviewing those. So, I'll see you then. I may actually upload that episode a little bit sooner, just because I was a little bit of a twat and didn't get to posting the other episodes on time. So I might upload that during the week. Stay tuned. One thing, though, before I go, after I've done the weapons episode, I will probably go back to lower arms. I'll just try and divide it up a bit with the weapons segment. So, look forward to that as well. But, of course, if I get some requests in the description for some other requests you guys want me to do for an episode, please suggest those, and I will probably interrupt my schedule of the one I just told you, and do the one you suggested if a lot of people suggest the same thing. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the episode. I hope you get out of your mocking block. Take care. Brush your hair. I'm gonna see you when I see you. Peace! I can't do that. Thank you, Generic B. That was your outro. I stole it from you. I will not do it again. Bye!